for your treachery against Pharaoh Akhenaten. And your soul will rot for eternity.
It's a very harsh opening, but we thought it merited it because it was showing the gravitas of being Pharaoh.
Are you ready to lead your people?
I am.
I think most people that know anything about King Tut know that he took the reign as a young boy. Imagine any kid now in 3rd grade suddenly told they're the ruler of an empire.
I will serve you as I did your father. I will protect you.
We just felt from the very beginning it would be important to show the origin of how this came about. This is really the story about this pharaoh who's been manipulated from the time he was first made king.
The people long for a pharaoh who leads from outside the shadows.
It's all about Ka training and teaching Tut, and also being very honest with him.
I've yet to see you do anything.
He's become the voice of reason for Tut. You know, the one that allows Tut to look in the mirror and say, I need to do better, and I can't continue just to be at the strings of the puppeteers.
You've never even been out amongst your own people.
He blends in because nobody really knows what the pharaoh looks like. He's always kept at a distance. We see him kind of being more or less in awe of just how busy his town, Thebes, is.
I think we wanted to create a scenario that felt relevant to today. One of the things that's interesting in ancient Egypt is beer was a big part of people's lives.
You've purchased beer before?
No.
It would be the equivalent of today's bar, and he meets the girl. And we thought that was kind of a fun way to connect our world to theirs.
Is that how we measure greatness? In the number of dead left in our wake?
It is measured by the number who were allowed to live peacefully because of it.
The 3 main players, General Horemheb, the High Priest Amun, and the Vizier Ai, all have their own agendas, and everything's kind of working status quo for them. It really upsets the apple cart when Tut has a desire to start making some changes.
Let us grasp the sand at their feet so that the world may bow at ours.
Our objective is to secure this kingdom. That is all.
The interesting thing about Egypt at that time was that they were a bit insulated from the world. They didn't need walls around their country because the enemies were a desert away. But they were out there, and everyone coveted the Nile. I mean, that was the lifeblood.
Come over the ridge and you look at your 800 background dressed as warriors, and your heart sinks for a second. You think, wow, this is a big location. That's one of the reasons we went to Africa, to get the size and scope.
But you also want to get in, show the nitty-gritty and the dirty, and really rough it up, and that's where we get Tut and Lagus and Ka. We get them right into the battle.
The men fight for you. You need not be in the middle of this, my lord.
That is exactly what I need to be.
He's basically inventing guerrilla warfare in front of our eyes. He's put his men hiding. He's leading the bad guys, the Mitanni, into a trap. But in order for that trap to work, he's got to put himself in harm's way. We see Tut taking what he's learned from Ka and really becoming a leader.
So at the end, when Tut is injured and we see Horemheb find him, we believe that he's going to help him. That after all this, they just fought and bled together on the battlefield. The twist is he does not. He leaves him for dead. It isn't so much is Tut going to die after hour 1. We know that the story goes on. The fun of it is, how's he going to get out of this one?
We're looking for an Egyptian soldier.
I've seen no Egyptians here.
Suhat is a great character. She really represents everything that's opposite of Tut's life. And as much as it's the love story, he's inspired by her, and he's inspired by the world around her to make Egypt a better place.
Pyramids were over 2,000 years old when Tut was pharaoh. They were built by generations before him, so they've been part of the Egyptian culture for eons. The fact that they're still standing today is pretty amazing.
The pharaoh is dead.
No. He cannot be dead,
He's dead.
So she loves her brother as a brother. She's not in love with him, yet he's the pharaoh, and she's his queen.
The battle is won.
You speak of victory when the pharaoh is dead.
We must pray. Osiris greets him.
I think we know that Amun knows that there's more that went down than just Tut losing his life in battle.
You've never been a devoted man of the temple, General. I am pleased.
What I love is that he's not afraid to hint that he knows.
The general did not tell the truth. It was Tutankhamun who helped lead us to victory. He's as much the victor as myself or Horemheb. Tutankhamun once told me, fate is not what you're given, it's what you take.
At the heart of it is a real, sincere, emotional dilemma for her, because she finally gets the man of her dreams, and they can rule together and start a kingdom together. that it could cost her her life.
I believe that Ka will prove to be a great leader. Make all the arrangements.
In the confines of his chambers, I can be truthful.
We absolutely know that he wants to be Pharaoh, but we also see this other side to him that it continues to make us question how devious he really is.
We will have opportunity again to make our own history and defy their history and claim for ourselves what others believe to be rightfully theirs.
Egypt, the most advanced civilization on Earth, envied upon for our wealth and culture, but most of all, our great pharaoh.